The smallest count was lying to a federal authority. You know, it's illegal to lie to any federal authority, whether he's with the FBI, with the post office. It doesn't matter. They call it the Martha Stewart law in friendly legal circles. And to make a long story short, after 14 days, the jury deliberated. It was only a 2.5-week trial. Blagojevich felt that there was actually no case against him. He did not even. His counsel just rested. When the government rested their case, you get to put on your defense. They did not even put on a defense. They just rested. They said, government has proved nothing. After 14 days, 14 days and nights, the jury came back and found him guilty of one verdict. That was lying to a federal authority, lying to the prosecutors when he was interviewed before he was indicted. Before he was indicted. On the other 23 criminal counts that, special prosecutor was bragging about in his press conference, if there's a trial, it'll go 6 months. We have so many tapes, so much evidence, so much compelling proof. This is a shock. This is terrible. It's Chicago politics, people. It's politics in America today. They're all crooks. I hate to say it. It's the most crooked time in the history of this country. 23 other counts, the serious counts. The jury was hung. Hung. You know what that means? Some people said guilty. Some people said not guilty. They couldn't come to a verdict. You see, in criminal matters, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. It means everybody's got to agree. The whole jury. And if one person holds out and says, I'm not sure. I can't agree because I'm not sure. I'm not 100%, I'm 80%. Then it's called a mistrial. They got to do it over again, or they just leave it alone. The government swears we're going to do it over again. We're going to retry and blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? They also swore that the trial would last 6 months. Their case alone. It went 2.5 weeks. They said they had compelling evidence. So much so that they forced a sitting governor to be impeached. A governor that was elected by 1.7 million Americans, they essentially had thrown out of office. And the only charge that jury could agree on was that he might have lied to the prosecutors before he was even charged with a crime. Guess what? That stinks. I think that stinks, and I think that's really pathetic. Now, the reason I'm so involved with this case on a personal level, I feel so much, I've been wrongfully charged. I've been charged with only 2 counts, not 24 counts. The funny thing is, my bail was set at $5 million. That is correct. Somebody thinks I'm a big guy. I want you to know, I come to you live, uncensored, uncut, no counsel. I am currently sitting here because we posted a $5 million bail. Blagojevich, 24 counts, racketeering, conspiracy, fraud, wire fraud, money laundering, you name it. His bail was $4,500. You know, if somebody out there could please help me understand this, I don't get it. I can't figure it out. Nobody can explain it to me. So we share a common denominator. Glenn Selig, who I love dearly, is the PR man for this Governor Blagojevich. And Blagojevich credits him with when he was charged with crime, he couldn't leave the house, couldn't leave the bed. This is public news. You could see it on your Google or your Yahoo. And Selig went to him and lifted him up, helped him out. Can you help a brother out? And when I decided 80 days ago or so, that I was going to be a television star, that I was going to come to you live and uncut and uncensored and under arrest. When I decided I was going to go on television and scream and do a reality show and talk shows and whatnot, I found Mr. Selig, and I hired him. So he represents the 2 of us, and of course about 250 other people. And he's been very helpful to me, and he's, props to you, Glenn. Now, Rod, keep your chin up, okay? 1 count out of 24, I don't get it. And I read what they say you said, and I don't get it either, because, It's you against them, and it's your word against their word, and I don't know how a jury can convict on one and say, on all the big counts, the 23 counts of criminal activity, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. We can't give a conviction, even though we were charged to. So I say to you, Rod, dude, hang in there. Keep your head up. Be strong. You know, I can only say I don't know what you're going through because I'm not there yet. I'm in the sort of early trial phase still. It's called discovery and the motion phase. But I feel for you and your wife. I mean, you know, God bless you and be strong. You know, let me say this to you people out there. I'm an American, and I got a lot of other problems in my life, as you all do. When I read the newspaper, I watch the news. You know, it's human nature. I just want to believe, you know. I want to believe when my wife says, I love you. I want to believe. You know, when somebody says, wow, you look great. I want to believe. You know, I don't want to walk around disbelieving because there's so much I don't believe in already. And I want to believe in this country. And I want to believe that people in office really are looking after us, you know. Like we look after our children and our families. I want to believe that our politicians that are elected and that make all these promises give a shit. They friggin' care a little bit. You know, I want to believe that the police and the FBI and the powers that be that are charged with enforcing laws, they really give a shit about getting things right. And until you get wrongfully charged, rounded up, perp walked, handcuffed, harassed, you just don't get it. And what's going on in this country, people, is disgusting. And I love this country. You're not going to find somebody that loves this country as much as I do. You're just not. Because I trade my life for this country, for what this country stands for, what it's supposed to mean, and what it could mean again. But we've got to wake up and say, hey, enough! I can't take it anymore. The lying, cheating scumbags that sit in Congress, some of them for 35 years, they're on the take. Their pockets are being lined. They're full of special interest money, whether it's the drug companies or the insurance companies, the investment banks. It's disgusting. They don't care about us like we care about our families. In fact, they so don't care about us. They're so not doing the right thing that it's now becoming almost impossible for people like me and people like you to take care of your families, to take care of our children. Because you know what? There's no jobs. The jobs that are pay shit money. These businesses that can't pay good money, can't borrow money because the banks have been raided, looted, eviscerated. I mean, there's so much nonsense going on. It just kills me. And, you know, it's trickling down now when decent people can't take care of themselves and their families. That's where revolution comes in. That's where real change can come. People march on the streets. They burn things. They scream at the top of their lungs. This is America. You know, it is our right and our duty to exercise. You know, in the Declaration of Independence, it says, you know, when a government becomes tyrannical and ignores the will and the rights of the people, we have a right to form a militia. We have a right to bear arms. Oh, yes, I believe strongly in those rights. We have the right to free speech. So, you know, I want to give you guys a little bit of a sense where I stand on some of these things and how I feel. My name is Ross Mandell. I have a website. I can be reached at rossmandell.com. You can send me emails directly, ross@rossmandell.com. That's 2 S's and 2 L's. And you can Facebook me. It's Ross Mandell. And I'd love to hear from you. And I promise you that I will respond. And you're going to get that response from me, not from some assistant or secretary, because I'm not that big yet. Certainly not in this industry. Maybe someday. But for today, I really give a shit. And I really want to hear from you. I want to hear good stuff, but I want to hear bad, troubling stuff. You know, if you think I'm a crook, Will you feel concerned that, I'm chatting to you, but I've been charged with a crime? Let's hear it. Don't hold back. I'm not holding back. Don't be afraid, because I'm not afraid. I'm wheeling and dealing, and I'm facing life head on. It's a day at a time. I don't drink, and I don't take drugs. And, this is now my new outlet, to express myself. And if you have any thoughts or concerns regarding alcohol or drug abuse, I want to hear about them. Because, that's what I do. It's an anonymous program, but our lovely government, in conjunction with the free media, has chosen to break or violate my anonymity. And I've been called a coke addict and a former alcoholic and a former drug addict, and he says that he's sober. I mean, all this friggin' nonsense. When I was being investigated by the government, they went door to door. They went person to person to see if anybody had a drink with me, to see if I'm misrepresenting or lying about my sobriety. I mean, you got to be kidding me, people. All right, that's a lot of me today. Again, my website, rossmandell.com. Facebook, Ross Mandell. I'd love to hear from you guys by email directly. ross@rossmandell.com. Rod Blagojevich, hang in there. And glad I could give you props, Glenn. And please stay tuned. We're going to be coming to you every day. Every day. You guys are going to get sick of me. But hopefully, you'll listen to me and then get sick. It's been a pleasure and an honor addressing you today. And hang in there. Keep your heads up. And it's one day at a time, everybody. Thanks for today. I'm grateful.